Hey everyone, it's Dara again. So today's video I would like to talk to you about how to stay confident when you don't feel like it. The thing I want to mention is that when it comes to confidence, well, first of all, what is confidence, right? Confidence is the ability to feel good about yourself, feel good about something that you are doing. And it's one of those things I do believe that's embedded in us as human beings. There's just one problem. We don't always feel it. We don't always embrace our confidence. At times, our confidence can be tested. It can be broken for tons and tons of reasons. We live in a society that unfortunately can be a bit shallow. And at times, it can cause us to feel a little, I don't know, So let's say you're a person who's very tall. Maybe you're 6'1". And in my opinion, I think that's great. But there might be some people out there who think being 6'1" is not such a great thing. And you start to feel a little uncomfortable if you find yourself amongst people who are shorter than you. And maybe everyone's looking at you like, you're awfully tall. Why are you so tall? And now they're questioning your height. And this might sound kind of silly to some people, but there are people out there who actually go through this. Let me give you the most common example, and I like to use myself as example because let me tell you guys something. I have been called everything under the sun. I kid you not. I don't think there's any term that has been said about me that I haven't heard before. So even when I was a teacher, I used to always use myself as an example so that way no one feels uncomfortable. So let's talk about weight. Now we all know that I am not a skinny girl. I'm not an obese girl, but I'm not a skinny girl, and I'm quite proud of that, to be honest with you. But there are a lot of people out there who will look at me and say, oh my gosh, she's so fat. Look at her. And there are some people out there like, look at you, girl, work it. So again, we live in this society where some people will like you and like what you look like, and there's other people who won't. What about abilities? What about skills? What about things that you do? Let me give you an example. There are some people out there that are very good at math. I mean, brilliant, all right? They can calculate like this. And there are some people, like me, who may not be so excellent at math. I mean, I can add and subtract, don't get me wrong. But there are some, things that when it comes to trigonometry and that calculus, I'm kind of like, I don't know about that. So there are some things people are good at, some things people are not good at. Take teaching, for example. In my line of work, I work with adults, right? I work with immigrants. I work with people whose English is not their native language. And some people have this misconception that teaching ESL is incredibly easy. It's like a no-brainer kind of job. Well, sorry to disappoint you for those who think that. It is not a very easy job. Not only the fact that you're standing in front of maybe 20 to 30 people in a classroom who speak different languages other than you, who are not sure who you are and trying to figure out who you are, but at the same time you're dealing with the fact that you have to make sure that you're presenting the lesson in a way that people can understand, and that is very challenging. I don't care what you're teaching. The other challenge, of course, is you're dealing with different personalities, and let's face it, you got nice people and you don't have so many nice people. So yeah, enough said. So confidence. How do you stay confident when you got all these things going on? We have media, we have things we see on TV, things we listen to on the radio or on our MP3 players or whatever. I'm a little old school, so forgive me if I'm not saying the latest technology. We have people in our circles who sometimes will criticize us. Hey, you talk too much. Hey, you're too big. Oh my God, you're too skinny, blah, blah, blah. Then you have your profession. Sometimes you are good at what you do and sometimes you're not. Or you could be good at what you do, but someone's critiquing you every single time about your job. There's just a lot going on, and it's very difficult to stay like this, like, yeah, I know what I'm doing. And there's times where you just feel like, I don't know, maybe I don't know what I'm doing. So how do you stay confident when you don't feel like it? This is just my perspective on this, and I'm just going to share with you what helps me. Again, this may not help everyone, so I don't want anyone to take this literal and say, okay, if I do what Dara does, it's going to work for me. Not necessarily true, because we are all different, and maybe what works for me may not work for you, but it's my hope that what I share with you today will help you through your situation. One of the things I like to do, and to be very honest with you, it has taken me years, and I stress years, to get to this point. But the first thing I like to do is look in the mirror. I look in the mirror and I say, hello beautiful, hello gorgeous, you know what, you got this today, you can do this today. Now you might kind of think, well, why would I talk to myself in the mirror? You know why? Because you are your best friend. You are also your biggest critic. So sometimes it's best to just look at yourself and speak to yourself. And it doesn't mean you have to hold a mirror in front of you and walk around like, okay, self all day long. But it just gives you that chance to just really look at yourself and really say, hey, you know what? I'm going to be all right. Because when you tell yourself that, you start to believe it. It's when you don't that you kind of have those doubts, you know? Well, in my case, I write a lot. So I always write down the things that I'm striving towards, or the things I'm working towards, or what it is that I want to do. Sometimes writing down how you feel really makes a difference, because when you read back, you'll be surprised at what you put down on paper. Remember, our brains work faster than our writing ability or our speech. Even sometimes now when I'm talking, I'm thinking of 10 things ahead of time and I'm still talking about this one topic. So sometimes our brains work faster than our speech. Writing things down, writing down your goals, writing down what it is that you're striving for can really make a difference, because when you write it down, it helps you to remember, and when you remember, you actually will strive for it. Another thing that I have to really say has helped me tremendously, and I would really recommend you to do the same: watch or listen or read inspirational stuff. I kid you not, it makes a difference. If you're not into the YouTube and you're more of a TV person, or you're more of a maybe a podcast person, listen to inspirational stuff. If you're the type who just likes to read inspirational stuff. When you read something inspirational or watch something inspirational, it really boosts your confidence. It starts to make you feel like, you know what, I'm not the only one. This person or these persons have gone through the same thing. Let me try to pick up myself a little bit and tell myself that, you know what, just because I don't feel that confident today doesn't mean I won't feel confident tomorrow. If you're lucky to have friends who are motivating or are doing things that are motivating, talk to them. Or even if you don't want to talk to them, just watch what they do. I've done that. There have been women I've met, they may not even know this. Even if they're watching today, they may not know that I am very inspired by them. Because sometimes we are inspired by people, but we don't tell them. I don't know why we don't tell people, hey, you inspired me. But I would say, let them know that. Because sometimes when you have that good girlfriend, right, or that good guy friend, or maybe it's someone on social media, it could be not a famous person, but maybe just someone you watch on YouTube or someone you see on Facebook, really doing it. You know, they're doing their thing. They're going places, and maybe they shared their hardship, and now they're doing better, and you're just sitting there like, wow. Like, wow, that's really great. Sometimes, even with people who are doing well, it's good to let them know, hey, you inspired me, because that boosts their confidence. And by you boosting their confidence, it boosts your own confidence. The other thing, too, is sometimes watching what other people do. Now, I don't mean everybody. I'm going to stress that. It depends on who you're watching and what they're doing. But sometimes that's also a way to say, hey, you know what? Okay, if she or he can do it, I can do it. Now, I must put this in there, and again, not to burst a bubble or anything like this, but be careful when I say watching people. Sometimes watching people can bring down your confidence, because if someone is just always seen, and I stress the word seen, doing well, and you're not, that can be a confidence downer as opposed to a confidence booster. I've watched people I know people now who seem to always do well. They're always doing well in their life. I mean, every time you talk to them, it's just like one good thing after the next. And there's nothing wrong with that, but sometimes that may not make you feel so confident, because like, oh, okay, happy for you, but what about me? No, I think the one thing I've learned is you take a little element or a little piece from certain things, you know. I don't solely rely on watching people, or solely rely on watching inspirational stuff, or solely rely on what I see on TV or radio or whatever, or listen to on radio. I like to just take a little element of these things and try to kind of put it all together. Another way to help boost your confidence is by doing something. And I've seen tons and tons of YouTube videos about this, and I have to agree with all those who said, hey, if you want to feel better about yourself or whatever, you got to stay active. That's very true, because when you sit still, you just sit still, and it cannot boost your confidence because you're sitting there, you're not doing anything. So you want to make sure that you're doing something. Whatever that something is, do it. I will always stress positivity, positivity, positivity. You don't want to do something negative and tell yourself that's a way to be confident, because no, the negative is never going to turn to a positive. Honestly, it just never does. So you want to stick with positive things, positive influences, not negative influences. And one thing to always keep in mind is, even when you don't feel very confident, it doesn't mean that you're not a confident person. And I've had conversations with people about this, and some people will say, well, if you're not confident every day, then you're not a confident person. That's not true. In fact, sometimes it's the people who are confident people in general, don't always feel confident every day, because at the end of the day, we are human beings. We're going to have down days. We're going to feel bad. We're going to cry. We're going to feel like, oh my gosh, what happened? Why me? It's part of life, and it's okay. You don't want to beat yourself up. You don't want to throw away all that you've worked hard for or strived for. You just want to remind yourself that it's just this one day. There are other days, and there's a tomorrow, and tomorrow it'll get better. That's what you always want to remind yourself. So don't feel bad if this one day in particular you don't feel so confident. And can I just say something for the ladies out there, because, you know, as women, we do get something every month. You know what I'm talking about. And let me tell you from experience, when you're going through that period, your hormones are all over the place. You don't feel beautiful. You don't feel that confident. You're just crampy, achy, and miserable. And that is just the way it is. Sorry, guys. I'm just keeping it real. That's just the way it is. Not always feeling confident doesn't mean you're not a confident person. Sometimes if you're just not feeling well, you're just not feeling well. And that's okay. Hope that these tips help you in your journey. Again, this is just my perspective on it, but I really hope that you know that the fact that you're here, that says a lot already, that you do matter. And even if you don't feel it at the moment, know that you matter. Know that your confidence grows every single day. But the best way that it will continue to grow is by staying active, by staying busy, by motivating yourself, by telling yourself that you can do this, whatever that is, or that you are important, that you are truly somebody, and everything is going to be okay. And let me just say also before I end this video, if you're finding yourself in a situation where you're with people who are always putting you down or critiquing you or not making you feel empowered, that's another way to down the confidence. Don't let nobody, and I will repeat, don't let nobody take your confidence away. It's happened to me. I'm telling you from experience. There have been people out there who have went out their way to tell me, you ain't nobody, you ain't gonna never be nobody, because look at you. And it's okay, because you know what's so nice about that? You can always flip it. You can say, well, you know what, I'm feel quite sorry for you that you have to even be so mean-spirited to say something like that. But you know what? I am somebody. I'm going to make it, and I'm going to be okay. And I wish you well. Always be the bigger person. Don't get in arguments and all that. I've learned the hard way, it doesn't work. If you're around people or somebody who's making you feel less than, always keep this in mind. You are better than that, and you do not need to be around anybody who's going to put you down and take your confidence away. Nobody is worth that much. If you have to stand alone, stand alone. And as I used to tell my students, and I'm going to say to you here today, always stand tall. Always stand tall, because that is the best way to keep that confidence up. Believe me, it works. Thank you so much. I hope today was inspiring for you. And again, leave comments below. Please like and subscribe this video. And keep watching, because I have more content to share, and I look forward to sharing it with you. Check out my social media. I am on Instagram. I'm on Twitter. I'm at sunbubbles28. Instagram is just Dara K. Fulton. And I look forward to being friends with you, and have a great start to 2017. And I'll see you next time. Bye for now.